going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today I want to chat about it's that time of the year. We're coming up on year end. We are in November. Today is currently November 5th, and I just want to talk about stuff. Now, I don't set a lot of goals anymore because I just study the language when I want. Basically, I try to do something every day, but I just have fun with it and things like that. And I try not to set goals because a lot of times I think people set unrealistic goals and then they get behind and whatever. And so I actually plan on making a video about how I stay motivated. And one of the ways is by not setting goals, because if I don't read 10,000 words a day for a week, I don't feel like I've failed. I just read what I can, that kind of thing. But I want to talk about, I do want to set some goals for the first time in a while. I want to set some goals for end of year, what I want to accomplish by the end of the year. I'm going to do probably weekly update videos here on that so you can keep track of that as a way to keep accountable. And I just love talking about languages. So I've been studying basically kind of in three facets, which is reading, shadowing / speaking, and then characters. Like character learning specifically. I know that reading and character learning go kind of hand in hand, but I'm reading, but then I'm also spending dedicated time back with Mandarin Blueprint in learning characters. And so to start off, what we're going to say is we're going to start with characters and what to do. So as of right now, I have learned 1,045 characters through Mandarin Blueprint. And what I would like to do by the end of the year, I have my little notepad here for my goals. I would like to be at 1,150 by the end of the year. That's 100 characters, which is insanely doable. That's a solid week and you can do that, but I'm not trying to do that. I just want to take it slow and steady, because also I'm going to be learning characters while reading. I mean, you unfortunately can't not do that. I ran into the character the other day for dance, and that was one of the characters I learned via Mandarin Blueprint, but I already knew the character because I've seen it so many times in reading. So I want to be on 1,150. So that's 100. Yeah, it's 100. I'm sorry, it's 105 characters because I'm at 1,045. I want to be at 1,150. So 105 characters by December 31st or January for whatever, the end of the year. And I think that's very, very, very doable. I am putting those cards into Anki. I'm not using the traverse system that Mandarin Blueprint has, but I have the card on the front. I just have the character. I have to know the pronunciation, the correct tone, and what it means. And then on the back, it'll have kind of the mnemonic that I have created for it, the prop breakdown. I'll have everything on there, so I don't have to depend on traverse or any of that stuff, and go from there. And then it does teach you words, and those words I'm putting into Playco. Playco is not part of my goal routines here. I am going to be studying some flashcards via that through some of the words that I learn via Mandarin Blueprint, especially if it's a word that's particularly interesting to me. But I'm not worried about saying I'm going to study X amount of words, because also I know that with the other things that I'm doing, I'm going to see these words anyway. So that's it for character learning. To build on that, going into reading, as of right now on LingQ, the only easy way that I know to do this is I looked up how many words I had read all time on LingQ in Mandarin, and that is 207,732. And by the end of the year, I want to be at 260,000 words read. You read for 10 days at 5,000 words a day. That's it. Obviously, I don't plan on doing that, and I'm probably not going to read every day via LingQ. Some days I'm going to be reading probably some other stuff. I don't really know how to track that, but I'm not really worried about that. I'll figure out a way. But basically, I just want to read a pretty decent amount. I know that with Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas coming up, different holidays coming up, my anniversary, my 10-year anniversary with my wife is coming up. My son's birthday is coming up. Like, the end of the year is crazy. So I didn't want to go too crazy with a goal. I think that that's a perfectly reasonable goal, something that I can attain just to keep active within the language. As far as reading stuff, ideally I would read a lot of Do Chinese stuff because it's more like story related things and stuff like that. But I have gotten back into reading some of the transcripts from like comprehensible input videos on, online or whatever. And that's it as far as reading. And then the third phase of this will be speaking. And the only way that I can really track this is obviously I'm going to speak when I'm out from time to time, but it's mainly shadowing, and it's using Glossika. I'm a big fan of Glossika, and right now with Glossika, I have done 10,095 reps, which is basically I've shadowed 10,000 sentences. Now, it's not 10,000 different sentences. It's the amount of sentences that I've added. It's only like 300 some, actually. I just repeat them over and over and over. I actually need to get better about adding sentences to it, but that's for a different time. But basically, I want to take that number to 30,000. Now, this sounds like a lot, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. On days that I travel, and not that I travel a lot, on days that I drive a lot, for example, there's some days, like if I drive to a town, 30 minutes over, I'll just do shadowing all the way down and all the way back. I may be going to Mooresville, North Carolina soon to see one of my friends. And if so, I mean, that's 2 hours in a car that I could shadow. So that number I don't think is going to be specifically hard to hit. I need to get a little bit more into it. And I definitely need to add cards to it to maintain that. I'm actually thinking about just adding like maybe 100 sentences. And then marking all of those in their own category. And then just on the way to Mooresville, shadow those 100 sentences like 10, 11, 12, 20 times to get those in my brain. I think that'd be a good opportunity to just really kind of see what could be done. So, and as far as shadowing goes, honestly, it's really helped me a lot. I've learned a lot of vocabulary via shadowing. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. Like, I know that, learning vocabulary can come in many different forms, but it's not that I didn't expect to learn the vocabulary, because I know a lot of people look at like Glossika and sentence shadowing as like, oh, you're just learning phrases, but like, it's not. You are, but you're learning the vocabulary words as well. Like I always, if it's a word I don't know, I look into it. I go to Playco, I look up the dictionary, how it's used in different sentences. So I'm learning the vocabulary as well. Like I'm not just learning to be a phrase book. I've learned how to take the words that I've learned via Glossika and apply those in other situations, as a speaker would, right? Learning different words to use in different situations. So, but that's it. So in short, we want to go from 207,000 to 260,000 words read. We want to go from 1,045 to 1,150 characters learned. And then we want to go from 10,095 sentences shadowed to 30,000 times shadow, speaking aloud, and kind of see where that is. And that is my goals for the end of the year. I will do videos updating you on that and everything there. So that is all for now. Let me know if you have any goals down below. Time-wise, by the way, I don't really know if I'm going to track. I go back and forth on tracking. I do really love the Refold app, and I know I did a video on it. But it's one of those things where sometimes I find time tracking to be distracting. Like, oh man, what should I count this as? Oh, I don't know. Well, sometimes I look words up, but other times you'll spend 10 minutes trying to figure out what you want to track it as. And it can be a little, I go back and forth on it. I track sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll just track just to keep myself honest, to make sure I'm still doing stuff, and then I'll just, carry on. So, so I'm not really going to be doing time related stuff. I may track a little bit, but I honestly don't know. So time goals are not anything of, importance to me. I want tangible numbers, right? Like, because I could spend 2 hours reading, but if I'm looking up a definition to a word that I don't know over and over and over, then it might be at 2,000 words read instead of like 5,000. You know what I mean? Like I want tangible goals like this where I can see numbers go up. That's time to me. So with that being said, we're going to keep moving on, keep writing, keep doing all that stuff. And I am writing. When I learn characters, I write them down still. And that helps put them in my brain. So let me know if you have any goals down below. And yeah, I will see you guys very, very soon.